reminded of a persuasion technique that you might not want to use yourself, but you should be aware of in case it's used against you. You'll find out what it's called and how it works a little later. But it was first used on me a few years ago by my own son. Now some of you have met my son. He was out here visiting in April. He's taller than me, kind of dark skinned, thin. Sort of has my best features. About 5 or 6 years ago, he was out visiting me from New York. Like me, he's a born and raised New Yorker. And I hadn't seen him for a few months, so it was about time for a visit. We went to Chicago, we went to my house, and had you been in that kitchen of my house with me that evening, you would have heard him say, "Dad, I have something to tell you." Now, what would go through your mind if a young man says to you, he has something to tell you? What would you think?
I'm going to get married.
Okay, that's one thing. What might you think?
Drugs.
Could be, yeah, I mean, drugs.
I'm not your real son.
All kinds, right? Things
Right.
like that. I committed a crime. I'm going to jail. I need five.
She's
Whole,
pregnant.
huh?
Yeah, she's
pregnant.
pregnant.
She's pregnant.
Yeah, that's a big one.
I'm pregnant.
That's good because it's Guinness Book of World Records.
Happy and gay.
Oh yeah. All those things went to my mind like in a flash. And I leaned against the counter and you would have seen me go white if you had been there. A deep breath said, "Okay, Stefan, what is it?" He said, "Dad, I got a tattoo." Oh, a tattoo. Oh, you mean like one of those butterflies on your butt? Or one of those snakes on your ankle? He says, "Dad, you know what a full sleeve is?" Do you know what a full sleeve is?
Yeah.
You do. You do. Well, I didn't know what a full sleeve is. He said, "Stefan, what's a full sleeve?" He rolls up his real sleeve and he shows me his arm is tattooed from wrist to the shoulder, all around. And it's like branches and leaves, like he's got climbing ivy up his arm. I look at that arm and I said, "Stefan, is that where the $1,500 I gave you for your teeth went?" He said, "Dad, I got the best tattooist in New York. It was worth the money. And I took weeks and weeks to get it." Looked at his arm and said, "Okay, Stefan, it's your arm, it's your life." A few days later, I ran into my friend Mike. Now, Mike's a streetwise kind of guy, kind of burly, goes to the same barber as me. That's why we like each other. I said, "Mike, my son really scared me the other day. He told me he had something to tell me, and then it turned out he got a tattoo, and it's all his whole arm, but that's okay." Mike said, "He got you, didn't he?" I said, "What do you mean, Mike?" I said, "He told you something that made you think the worst. Then he told you what he wanted you to think." Yeah. Mike said, "You got caught with bait and switch." Bait and switch. My own son, bait and switch. But it turns out it's much more common than you realize. It's used on you every day. Today, I went and had a flu shot. The nurse says, "This might hurt." I think, "Oh man, I gotta get ready." Then she puts the needle in and, oh, that didn't hurt at all. Now it hurt, but nothing compared to what I had in mind. Or how about this one? This one. You go to the car mechanic, and the car mechanic says, "Oh, there's a lot of things that have to be done. This might cost you a lot of money." What do you think? 2,000, 3,000, something. That's a lot of money. Then the mechanic says, "It could be $500. You go, "Oh, $500. Wow, lucky." Bait and switch. So you could keep going on and being susceptible to this thing, or you could realize that whenever somebody uses vague words like something to tell you, it might hurt you. it could cause you. That's the clue for bait and switch. You're being set up. And if you remember those vague words and that you're being set up and watch out, then you can ditch the bait and switch.